Life is not always welcome. Jolene followed Clew into the hospital. Dr. Patel will be your point of contact for Luna's case. Dr. Patel, conveniently enough, entered the waiting room from the other side at that moment. He was a short man with dark skin. Hilda, thank you for coming. Not convenient then. Clew was expected. Clew put on his face of serenity, chiding himself for having dropped it in public. I hear we have a daughter in need. Dr. Patel nodded, striding forward and falling into a bow. We do. Luna collapsed while performing her initiative last night. What are her symptoms? Dr. Patel cleared his throat. Weak and trembling muscles, clammy skin, nausea and headache. We kept her overnight. I diagnosed her symptoms as looping this morning when we learned she had been revived on Earth, that we live, no less. Come, let's talk further in private. He motioned Clew and Jolene back into a hall, where he rounded into an office. When all were inside, he closed the door. Has she been on any meds? Clew asked, glancing at Jolene, who wasted no time sitting on the conference table. Just the daily vitamin, Dr. Patel said. Let's get her off that, Clew said. Already done, Dr. Patel said, tapping his clipboard screen. She's about to have enough issues without the vitamin. Oh, I knew the daily vitamin was bullshit, Jolene said, examining her nails. So what's it do? Make them docile? Reduce critical thinking? No, Dr. Patel said when Clew froze. It dampens their proprioception. Okay, Jolene said in a drawn-out voice. What's that? Dr. Patel tapped his head. That's the sense that grounds you in your body. That feeling that your center of being is just behind your forehead. It allows you to move and navigate with confidence because you understand how your body is oriented to other objects. Silence. Jolene looked from the clueless Dr. Patel to the ashamed Clew. Well, that's super messed up. Why does the vitamin do that? Clew opened his mouth and closed it. Travis and I agreed that impaired bodily awareness would help emphasize the intermediary state. That's even worse than I assumed, Jolene said. You're drugging people so their lives more closely fit your doctrine? Dr. Patel was about to speak, likely in Clew's defense, but Clew spoke over him. I'm sorry, Jolene, but if you're going to be involved here, you have to let me work. Jolene glared at Clew, but slumped. Clew gave a wary glance to Dr. Patel. If Luna is already showing symptoms of looping, how much time do we have? She's stable for the time being, Dr. Patel said, giving no indication that all was not normal. I won't know how long we have until her condition starts deteriorating. Her son is trying to revive her, Clew said. Is she with him on Earth? He needed to know how much he would be up against in this case. That's a reasonable assumption, but we just don't know enough to say, Dr. Patel said. Does she have any memories? Clew asked. How long does it take memories to transfer between two functioning bodies? It takes time to be any more specific than an impression, Dr. Patel said. The far more concerning risk at the moment is the cognitive degradation she will soon experience in both bodies. But we do have time to mitigate the situation here before it's a problem on Earth, right? Clew examined Dr. Patel's reaction. He was about to speak when Jolene interjected. You have time, dummy. That's why you're here. Now stop stalling. You get in there, and you explain to Luna Hawthorne exactly why she needs to tell her son on Earth that she doesn't want to be with him. Getting her to revoke consent is the fastest way for her to die there. Otherwise, we've got to kill her Earthside before she exposes us, and that's probably going to start a war. No pressure. Clew shook his head, overwhelmed by this bombshell of a morning. Why am I not surprised you already have a contingency? We don't mess around, Jolene said in a merciless tone that felt like more of an act than an honest expression of her feelings. Not with so much on the line. Does Travis know about this? Clew asked. Travis only needs to know if it affects him, Jolene said, eyes locked on Clew as if daring him to question her. Let's stop that from happening. Clew rolled his eyes, throwing his hands up and snapping at Dr. Patel. Prepare a meditation room for us to spend the next few days in. The hospital had a small meditation room, the standard for most buildings not devoted to spirituality. It was 2 by 2 meters. 6 rolled-up mats lined one wall, and a waist-high altar stood at the front. Plants and a trickling water fountain lined the other wall. Clew unrolled 2 mats, lit a rope of incense, and sat cross-legged with his back facing the altar. Luna would arrive soon, but at present, he needed a strategy for addressing the looping. So many years had passed since the last case, and each was unique. Looping was often unpredictable, and the exact path forward for Luna would depend on her. She had already had family issues and acted in compliance. That was lucky, but anything could happen. The door to the meditation room opened. A woman with brown hair and surprisingly little height walked inside. She was wearing hospital scrubs and had a hollow expression that she seemed to be actively trying to hide with a tranquil smile. Clew spoke first. Luna, child, enter. Luna complied, closing the door behind herself and sitting across from Clew on the floor with a suppressed wince. Meditate with me for a while, will you? Clew asked, not knowing what else to do at the moment. I will, Elder, Luna said. She smiled, seeming only a little terrified to be in the same room as Clew. I am honored you are here. Clew gave her a meaningful nod to imbue comfort and closed his eyes. He sucked in a breath, paused, and exhaled 5 seconds later. Though he couldn't see her, Clew heard Luna following his lead. Concentrate on your breathing, Luna, Clew said, opening his eyes to observe her. She did exactly as he said, sitting perfectly still and tuning into her spiritual nature by reacquainting herself with her body. Inhale the strength of your fellow transients. Exhale the weakness you perceive in yourself, acknowledging that only strength resides in your heart, Clew said. He followed her breathing for 30 seconds to build a sense of unity between them. Picture your position in time and space, Clew said, reducing his volume to increase Luna's attentiveness. She leaned forward, brow straining on the task of meditation. Look forward with renewed purpose in your role on the stage of existence. Recognize how fleeting will be the heartache of this life when at last comes the hereafter. Minutes slipped away. Clew examined Luna at various points of the meditation. She was honest in the expression of her faith. That was good to know before beginning. Open your eyes, child, Clew said. Luna obeyed, pupils constricting within brown irises, even in the dimly lit room. How are you feeling? Clew asked. Luna gave a subdued smile. The meditation helps, Elder, and I thank you for this chance to refocus on the hereafter. Almost a day has passed since I began feeling unwell. I'm ashamed to admit I have not overcome this adversity. Do not feel shame. Clew's face broke into sympathy. He felt surprised by the fact that he actually felt the emotion. Do you remember your life on Earth? Luna's expression widened in surprise. Of course, Elder, though the Anointed Ones discouraged the discussion of the prior life. Clew nodded understanding. We will make an exception between us. The intermediary state is a time of trial. Sometimes we recall our first lives with affection, thinking it was a better time, but not all was better. There was suffering in that time too, and sickness. Do you remember sickness? Yes, Elder, Luna said. I also remember sickness. Clew said, recounting the idea with reverence. It came upon you, often through no fault of your own, and did not leave until it had worked its course. We have no sickness in this intermediary life, but some people still have trials that come upon them through no fault of their own. This is not a punishment, Luna, but a trial. How many trials must I have? Luna asked. I do not know, Clew said. The time of trials has not yet passed. My family waits for me in the hereafter, Luna said. They call out to me, waiting for me to join them. But because I was insufficient in my prior life, I am here, while they are there. I understand, Luna, Clew said, silent panic rising within him. That was a complication. I cannot tell you when your trials will end, but I can offer reassurance that our trials and suffering have meaning. We will be so much better off in the hereafter with the wisdom we are obtaining in this life. I understand, Elder, Luna said, tone suffering. She fidgeted on the mat. I will bear this trial as I have others, and await the hereafter with eager anticipation. My child, your strength inspires me. I am personally here to help you bear this burden, Clew said. Supporting Luna was all well and good, but Clew needed to address the issue. Can you help me understand what happened? How did this start? It began last night, Luna said. I was finishing my initiative when I began to feel unwell. What is your initiative? Clew asked. Luna still did not understand that she was looping. Clew hoped to provide her with an explanation that skirted the truth of her duplicate body on Earth. Luna hesitated, displaying a moment of embarrassment. I sit in a room and watch panels of black glass emerge from one end. I place a device on one end of the panel, and if it lights up, I send it one way. If it does not light up, I send it another. Clew nodded. She was a solar panel inspector, ensuring the panels were viable before they were soldered to electrical and navigation components and launched off to the sun. Given her body language, she took no pleasure in her initiative, and was even a bit ashamed of it. So your initiative is not labor-intensive? No. This sickness is likely not the product of overtaxing yourself, then, Clew said. How could he explain this away within the confines of his doctrine? If he couldn't blame it on her being overworked, the explanation he gave her may look dangerously close to the truth. Luna dipped her head. Perhaps it is because I'm unworthy to carry out my initiative. For some years, I've felt discontent when performing my labors. Perhaps if I were better at enjoying my tasks, my mind would not long for other things. Clew leaned back. Luna had presented an explanation here, but it wouldn't work. No one actually enjoyed their initiative. The only way to get reassigned was to be physically unable. If Clew entertained the idea that a discontented life could lead to sickness, the whole planet would soon fall sick. He had to swat this idea before it took traction in her mind. Oh, daughter. Clew broke into sympathy. You are not so unworthy. A person's initiative is the task best suited to them, and each person is best suited to the task they are assigned. Perhaps if you feel disengaged from your initiative, you should consider the idea in your meditations. What lessons can you gain from your labor, and what good can you perform? Luna gave a slow nod, trying to hide her disappointment, but accepting the idea. I will meditate on these things. But, Elder, what else could be happening to me? We will find out, Clew said in reassurance. I'm sure the doctor already asked you similar questions. But is feeling unwell like this common for you? Luna considered the question. Sometimes, when I fail to drink enough water, I get headaches. But this is different. It's like a headache, but like my eyes are being pulled out of my head through my ears. Just sitting here causes me pain. Clew nodded in consideration. Her description was consistent with the symptoms of looping. As the second body booted up, the sync on the current body would destabilize. Clew needed more. Any other symptoms? What about today? Luna grew uncomfortable. I haven't told anyone. It's okay, Clew said. I'm here to do anything possible to help you get better. Luna fidgeted, but straightened her back and looked at Clew. I have flashes of sight that enter my thoughts, images of a room that I've never seen. My son's face. He's happy to see me. I see, Clew said when she fell silent. But I know I'm wrong to desire to be with him, Luna said quickly. Not until I have passed the intermediary state. Nerves pulsed in Clew's stomach. He had hoped the looping would turn out to be a false alarm, but her every word seemed to attest her condition. How do these visions make you feel? Clew asked. They bring me despair, Luna said. I know one day I'll be with him again, but to feel his presence and be denied discourages my spirit. Clew gave a solemn nod. She could be with them now if not for Murphy. Your reaction is understandable, he said with trepidation. But you must first recognize that these visions are not a promise of things to come. If left unchecked, the visions may even tempt you away from your initiative and prevent you from reaching the hereafter. I do understand, Luna said. But why is this happening to me? It can happen for many reasons, Clew said, trying again and again in vain to think up something that might explain the situation without contradicting the doctrine. You are not the first and will not be the last. You have been tempted to forego the hereafter before, haven't you? Yes, Luna said in shame. 10 years ago, my anointed one, Gareth, recognized I longed to be with my family. So, to help me control my urges, he had me record a video. This might be useful. Saying what? Luna looked down at her crossed legs. I had to tell my husband, Charles, to stop looking for me. I told him I had found my own way. Why? Clew asked. It was supposed to help me understand that I would not be with them until I fulfilled my intermediary life, Luna said, still seeming to have to convince herself of the benefit. In telling him, I would tell myself that I needed to stop longing for something outside of my control. That's an incredibly brave thing you did, symbolically foregoing your family to complete your intermediary journey, Clew said in a voice of perfect understanding and wonder. It helped for many years, Luna said, seeming buoyed up by Clew's reaction. But now my lower desires seem to be manifesting in a physical way. That was it, the perfect explanation to lean into. Such a difficult trial has been placed upon you, Clew said. Perhaps because of your past transgression of longing for that which is out of your control. You now are given an opportunity to prove you will not be swayed from arriving at the hereafter. Luna dipped her head, a single tear escaping her eyes and dropping to the mat on which she sat. I suspected that might be. You will get through this. Are you prepared, Luna, to deny yourself in the present to arrive at the paradisiacal hereafter? Clew asked. I am. Clew's eyes never left her, even as she bowed her head in shame. And should you find yourself in a vision with your son or your husband, beckoning you to forego your progress for instant gratification, you must deny yourself. It is not your time to progress into the hereafter. Luna sniffled. I understand. What is your son's name? Clew asked. James. Such a wonderful name, Clew said. You must long to see him so deeply. You may likely find yourself confronted by visions where he tempts you to be with him. But if you accept his presence, you will fail this test and threaten your transition into the hereafter. You must deny him. You must tell him you do not choose this life. In your heart, you will know that the two of you will reunite in the hereafter, but it is not yet. Luna cleared her throat, sitting up straighter and raising her gaze to Clew. I will try. Clew observed Luna. If she failed at this, Murphy would hire an assassin to infiltrate We Live and kill Luna's body on Earth. That would risk exposure for Murphy. He needed to impress upon her the seriousness of the situation. You must do more than try, for your own sake, and for your family's. Luna looked at her clasped hands between her folded legs. Give me strength. I will, Clew said. I think you should stay here until you have passed this trial. We don't know how long that will take, Luna said, pain crossing her face. My initiative can wait, Clew interrupted. Your health and well-being are much more important. Luna nodded, seeming overwhelmed by the attention and effort. Thank you. Clew averted his gaze in a rare moment of self-consciousness. Luna was genuinely grateful, but the apparent generosity was really selfishness. Clew was protecting Murphy and himself by preventing this woman from learning the truth. Clew cleared his throat and returned his gaze to Luna, forcing himself to meet her eye. I will be here during your recovery. My resources are yours. No, please. Luna's face broke into an overwhelmed gratitude. Do not strain your resources on me. I can't impose more than I have. You will accept this help, Clew said. That was the thing about Rodinians that gutted him. Their planet was aiding the biggest venture capital investment in existence, and the people worried about resource scarcity. We do not let our own suffer. That is the last I will hear about it. Relax, meditate, and contemplate your perfected state. Yes, Elder, Luna said. I will return tomorrow, Clew said. Rest well tonight, Luna.